Hello friends, I'm going to expound on my last video about drug addiction, mainly for younger individuals. I wanted to talk about the love and drug addiction connection and a pattern that I'm noticing that's keeps coming up through the things I'm looking at, looking into. Here's the pattern that I'm noticing. Someone asks, what brings you out here? Say I'm watching 20 videos about drug addiction on YouTube, about actual lives. This is not fictional information. This is actual lives, interviews, things that I've noticed from my own perspective, from people that I've known in my life. What brings you out here to this area where there's a lot of drugs? Generally, a hub. And it's almost the same thing over and over again. I came out here with someone. I came out here with someone. Well, look at the male power perspective. Look at the love attachments and think about how your emotions are much different during a love phase or period of your life. Because, the extent of love or that love buzz isn't going to last. So you're in a love buzz. You're with this person and you are not wanting them to go away. Both of them. And let's say the male has a pattern of going out, and they go from state to state, and they know how to get a female and bring them to a certain area, and they can get them to do certain things in that area. And then now, for whatever their incentive was, or for whatever reason that they did that, they now have control over that person as taking them out of their safe area. Mentally, around family, around friends, they completely disconnect you from that. They take you to another area with a drug hub. And then now you're addicted to the drugs. And this is my point, is now you are going to connect your drug use in the future with deep feelings inside of your mind to a certain point where you were high from love, or you were high on someone that was manipulating you. And the thing about, if you're high up in love, know that you are being manipulated. Are you high up in love without being taken to another state, or going off and doing something for this other person, trusting this other person? Because one of the ways to manipulate a person with love is to gain their trust. So the more a person is realizing that they can get you to trust them, the more they can get you to go to another state with them, to do things with them that you normally not do. And so there's also going to be excitement. There's also going to be a dream state. It's going to be like a dream. The main driver, though, to the whole thing is your love feeling, that love buzz that you have. It's going to have you do stupid things. It's going to have you do things that are incredibly dumb. And something that I got to point out is, once you've become addicted to these drugs, connected with the feelings of love and all that, and memories and whatever, subconsciously. Detaching is going to probably be the look back at what you're going to go back to if you were to get away from your addiction. So if you were thinking, or you did experience this high with this person, love buzz, and you're running around, it's an adventure, you're adventurous, you're going into stores, you're taking things from stores, you're living high, you're living by your own rules, and this person's showing you how you can survive away from your family. They can show you how you can be your own person in a way. Street smart. You can hustle. Which is glorified by your medias and your movies and all that stuff. It's all your Grand Theft Auto video games, all that, if you haven't noticed, glorified. So they're going to show you how to live away from society. So now you are looking back on the life that you've got to go back to if you are going to go sober. This is mainly for drug use, not so much alcoholism, I'd say. I'd say the stuff that's going to cost a lot of money to hold down that kind of life. You are going to be becoming that life. And they're showing you how to do it. So they're your teacher in a way too. So these people already know how to do these things. So they've done this before with other younger girls. They're probably not telling you about this. And it's the relationship that you're going to have with them is going to be short-lived for whatever reason. They're going to give you a lie, and then they're going to be gone. They're going to tell you that they've got to go for a little bit and they'll be back. They're lying. They're just going to leave you hanging. So where are you at this point? Now you know how to make it on the street. This person's gone. You're thinking, what do I have to do to clean up? I've got to go back to society. And society, for anyone that dislikes society, such as myself, to live in society sober is not a simple thing. Nor is living on the streets with the drug addiction. That's not a simple thing. So what's the difference between those two? They're living on the street, you're getting high. Going back, being with your family, you got to listen to their bullshit. You got to listen to their usually fake things they say. You got to see plastic people all the time. So I definitely can see the disinterest in sobering up and going back. So I've got to go ahead and say, I've got to straight down the line, it doesn't have to be that way. It's living in society. You don't have to live in society and do everything that society will have you do. You can still be close to your family. You could go back to your family and not be that same little kid that they treated as a little kid. You go back to your family so that way you can get off of the drugs, so you can go back to people that love you, actually love you. And if you are not having a family in the beginning, or your family didn't do you real well, you feel that way, abuse, sexual abuse, whatever, and you're running away from that. You don't have a family to go back to. And that's not an option that you have in the first place, or at all. Then the possible steps that you can take are removing yourself from the person that you're in love with, that you're in connection with, that has to do with drug use. And I'm not saying that they are not in a love buzz with you at the same time. It's just they're carrying out a pattern where they're getting off by destroying another person. It's a, it's probably more than anything, it's a detachment thing, issue for you, not really for them. They're not really gonna hang on to anyone. And also, too, drugs are only going to pull them further and further down to where they're not really going to be able to do that as well as they're getting older. So a lot of guys have this power, younger guys, where they can street hustle and short-sighted thinking. You see that a guy has thousands of dollars cash in his hand and he's driving around a nice car, or he could get all that stuff real fast. I can understand the enticement about that. They've got things going for themselves right here, right now. Well, the thing is, the way that they're going about doing it, they're not being straight with themselves. They're not being straight with the ways that comes about, all the lives that they're destroying through doing that. And it's not a having any kind of scope towards a future or thinking about a future. It's just looking at what this person has. Okay, I can use this person, I can do this, I can do that. So look at yourself, look at where you're going as well. What is it that you're attracted to as well with the love situation, with the connection, with the connection between what got you there in the first place? What kind of trap are you being pulled into? And do what you got to do to start getting away from that trap, because it is a trap. Is the trap even deeper? And what the payout is to them for bringing you out to a certain area, what they get? Do you know? Is there a reason why they disappear so fast and they leave you hanging? Another thing I was going to mention is the dopamine receptors in your brain. If you're using these drugs, opiates, that are going to be stimulating your dopamine receptors, you're destroying your brain. You're destroying the dopamine receptors in your brain. You can come back, you can get off the stuff, and you're young, your body can clear up. It's gonna take some months for your body to get healthy again, and for your mind to start coming back to where you are having good feelings from doing things like taking a walk, or you made it to the grocery store, you got some groceries, you feel pretty good about that, you're going to make some food. This is what I'm talking about, where you're feeling pretty good. Now let's say you're just getting off of this kind of stuff. You're not going to feel good about these kinds of things, because what you've been doing is you've altered your mind. You physically have altered your mind for now, until you can get away from it. And your mind, you also have to remember that your psycho situation inside of your mind, there's much more to it. It takes time for your mind to adjust. So that's why, if you have family that you can go to, or you have close friends that will do something for you during this time, go be with your family. Go be with your family. And stay close to them during this time. And consider yourself fragile, vulnerable during this time. And your family's going to have, even if they don't know what to do or whatever, or they're telling you, you have to do this, you have to do that, or whatever, as long as you stay close to them during that 2, 3, 4 months where your body's adjusting back, just go through that and do the smallest things that you can do, even if you have to color with crayons or you get a coloring book and you're just sitting there, you're not having any interest in it, you're just doing something. Just keep your hands doing something. Keep things in your hands. Keep your body and your mind doing something during these months to get away from this stuff. And then once you've done that, I guarantee it, once your body and your mind is coming back around for you, you'll have made it. You'll have made it to clean. You'll have made it to where you can start saying, okay, I'm going to get back into school, or I'm going to get back to doing this, or I'm going to get back to doing that. And whatever you do, never think the shame or the guilt. Never think that you're not good enough, or now you're dirty, or you've got this history of things that you've done or whatever. Tomorrow's a new day for everyone. And go ahead and take a walk in a park and look at every single one of those people and know that all of those people have done something in their lives that they don't think was the greatest thing. So they got on. And a lot of those people are still doing awful things. A lot of people would say, yeah, that's messed up. They get on, though. They still do certain things in life, and they still get on. So think about that. Think about how the love buzz and your relationships that you make when you're a younger person. If you're into the danger and you're into the naughty and you're into this and you're into that, and it's connected to the drugs, and you're going further into addiction, and you're with that person right now, get away from that person. ASAP. Leave them. Get a bus ticket. Get back home. Get back home. And whatever withdrawals that you're going to go through, just take it. Just take it. I'm here if you want to talk about any of this kind of stuff. We can talk in private or whatever. Or we can talk in the comments. If you feel lost or you feel that you don't know where to go next, we can go over a couple of things. It's generally going to be, the answers are going to be, get away from the people that are bringing you to the drugs or connecting you to using the drugs, because it's a trap, and you're not gonna get out of it if you get too deep into it. Or it's gonna be, I mean, you're further into the hole of all the things that you got to do to mend, and since the drugs are always going to bring you down into a depression until you get high again. Where are you getting any kind of traction? So you get my point. It's the further in you are, the stronger of a person you're going to have to be, and the more it's going to depend on how much your family is going to say that they understand that they'll do something for you. So if you're at that point right now where you can't do that, you can go back to your family and you can get the rehab, get everything, or they'll take care of you. Just think about all these things I've said. Think about it. So take care of yourselves. It's better to be sober, in my opinion, and it's better to be away from people that are not. So, good night.